So the Pittsburgh Steelers here going with what's not necessarily a position of need, but it's a good player, I think. And quite frankly, I do think they could use another wide receiver. They get George Pickens here, someone who can win on the outside, which that's something to look for when you look at wide receivers. And quite frankly, if you're just talking talent, you can make an argument he's like a top 4 or 5 wide receiver in this draft class. In fact, I had him in my top 5 wide receivers in this draft class, just evaluating the on-the-field stuff. There's character concerns of him, which I'm not even going to get into because, who knows how big of a deal that kind of stuff is. It's all speculation to some degree. And then also, apparently got into a car crash, which maybe dropped his stock. I guess he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, according to Rappaport. I haven't looked too much into that. So I believe that's what I read. Check out Rappaport and his reporting on it on Twitter for the full details. But, I guess wear a seatbelt. But in terms of the player itself, he's awesome. Let's talk about the player, let's talk about the on-the-field production with Pickens. Let's start off with this play, because one thing that definitely will jump out at you when watching George Pickens' film is his first step. His first step is very good, and that can really come into play when you're trying to win on the outside, which that's what I like about Pickens. He can win on the outside, and that's a real good trait. If guys can do that at the NFL level, that's the difference sometimes between okay teams and championship teams. Maybe not that big of a difference, but it's a big difference. It might be the difference between playoff teams and championship teams, certainly. And watch how he's going to do this. This play, it's a running play, so, who cares? But it's still kind of just a great example of that first step because, hey, corner who's going up against, he doesn't know it's a running play. But watch how Pickens is able to, just with that first step in his hand movement, get, well past the corner he was going up against. You might say, okay, but will that work at the NFL level? Well, he's doing this against Derek Stingley, really hyped up cornerback prospect. So it might. You also have something like this, where again, this is going to be just a great move. Where what's going to happen on this play is, so you see where Pickens is on the field, and also worth mentioning, yes, this is 2019 film. I wanted to use it again, show film against a good corner. Again, this is Derek Stingley, and this is when Derek Stingley was debatably the best corner in the nation. Look at how right when this play begins, you see how Pickens kind of, is trying to not give away what he's doing. What route could he be running here? You just don't know. So Stingley is giving him a little bit of separation. He doesn't want to get burned deep, which again, good to see that he can get that kind of respect from a great corner. So one, Pickens cuts in, he does get wide open, makes the grab, and it doesn't even get tackled, gets inside the 30s. So it's really good stuff from Pickens. It's good route running, and again, that first step and his ability to, cut on a dime is very good. He's shifty, which is definitely something you like to see. Like something like this is another example of, again, kind of a similar thing. He's running a slant route right here, so it's going to be kind of don't give anything away, and then all of a sudden go. Look at how, right when this play begins, it's kind of sung as though it could be a run, but then right when he cuts, the defensive back who's in that area, again, Derek Stingley, is a little bit further behind. This was zone, so that's part of what factored in, but still, if he read this play quicker, he could have gone in and knocked the ball away. However, it's hard to really blame him because that's a really quick move that, Pickens pulled off on there. He kind of started and then boom, he's off and is able to get separation. So, okay, that part cool. You got separation on a good corner. We like to see that, but this play is far from over because this is not going to be a fantastic throw on this one. So yes, Pickens got open, but now it's can you make the tough catches? And Pickens can absolutely make the tough catches on top of that. Look at how, while it's a bit of a high throw and quick, he still is able to go up and make that catch. That's a tough catch to make. It really is, because it was a bullet and it was high. Those bullets, they're not that difficult to catch if they're, perfect accuracy, but if it's tough accuracy, it is going to be difficult to find a way to make that grab. Well, he found a way to make that grab. And then finally, there's stuff like this where he can just track the ball very well, and that's part of how he can win on the outside. Yes, he has that great first step ability, which I like, but it's also stuff like this where it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. It's quarters coverage, so the cornerback is going to try and, keep with him, and he's going to do a pretty good job. Look, as you see, corner is able to hang with Pickens a little bit right at the beginning of this play. He's bailing quickly, and he's also going to, turn his back and make sure that he looks towards Pickens, and that's what Pickens really wants to do here. Is he's saying, okay, listen, I can run faster than you, so I'm just going to try to get to the outside. Therefore, you have to look at me. You can't really look back towards the quarterback, because once you get that outside leverage on a deep route, this means that you can adjust to the ball better than the corner you're going up against can. So watch how this ball is just going to get completely thrown up there, but Pickens adjusts to it so well, he's still able to make the catch. So, being able to read that stuff is very valuable. And a lot of people might say, so what? We're drafting a contested catch guy here. That's not something we love. But it's not just a contested catch guy. And listen, the concern with contested catch guys is that it doesn't always translate to the NFL level. Sometimes it does, right? Jamar Chase was a contested catch guy. That worked out okay. He could do other things, but that was part of his game. But what Pickens can do, I think, will work at the NFL level. Stuff like this, where he's reading the ball and getting outside leverage to where defenders just can't adjust to the ball, but he can. That stuff does work at the NFL level, and I think Pickens, can absolutely make that work. So that's just, again, one of the many things that I like about him. So yeah, also worth mentioning, he is coming off an injury, so there are some X factors here, but if there's one guy who's probably going to be a steal, it's, in this second round, I think it's fair to put a lot of money on Pickens, although there's other guys like Sky Moore and Alec Pierce who I like a lot as well. And quite frankly, the Steelers drafting him, this is just such a Steelers pick, right? This is what they always do. They get these day 2 or even early day 3 wide receivers who just pan out because they know wide receivers, and also that's a smart strategy. Going after wide receivers at that spot, you probably heard me say it a lot now because there's been a lot of receivers going here. Never let a day 2 go by in the draft without selecting a wide receiver or safety. They got their wide receiver. Check that off. Good draft so far for the Steelers. And again, Kenny Pickett is someone who now he has guys to throw to, and that's important for a young quarterback. Get him to be able to throw the ball up to guys. Their offensive line still has some issues, but okay, that's true. But hey, George Pickens will help with that. Having a guy you can just throw up jump balls to, that's going to help protect the offensive line. Having a guy who will get open quickly, that will help protect the offensive line. So because of that, I think that this is, it's a good selection. And for the Steelers, the receiving core, they have some good players. Obviously, Deontay Johnson, and Chase Claypool. So getting a third guy, I think this can kind of open up, guys to be able to run multiple routes, can run setup routes as well. They do feel like they're all guys who can win on the outside. So that's another interesting thing. But again, get the best player available. Pickens is certainly the best player available, and he'll get playing time, so I kind of like it. What do you guys think about this move? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on George Pickens going to the Pittsburgh Steelers? I feel like after the Steelers draft him, everyone's going to love him just because that's how it works, right? So let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.